Good morning and welcome to our 6 Steps to Ninja Skill Booster. I'm very excited this morning to be running this session with you to really share some great tips on how to feel more like a ninja, how to harness all of the ninja skills that you may have already got some of our skills from the workshops that you've attended, but how to harness those and sort of hone them a little bit over a period of around about 6 weeks. Good morning, Janelle from sunny Sydney. Wonderful. Lovely to have everyone with us today. I am going to get straight into the content. Matt is here to help me today, so thank you, Ninja Matt, with some logistics, putting some things in the chat box for you, so watch out for some links and things that you might like to take down. But we will also be emailing you a heap of resources at the end of this session. So as I mentioned, our Ninja Skill Boosters are 30 minutes long. They're fast and furious, but there's going to be lots of great content for you today. My details are on the screen if you want to take a snapshot, but you will get an email from us. Please keep in touch. We love chatting about this stuff, as you can imagine. So we're here to help and support you. Our business, Think Productive, we're on a mission. We really want to help everyone to love Mondays, which sounds like maybe a tall ask, but we see this revolution, we see it happening when we support people to hone their ninja skills and get some balance between feeling kind of overwhelmed and stressed and getting some skills that can help us to move forward productively, as well as bearing in mind our sense of well-being and taking good care of ourselves. So I'm going to get straight into this. Today, I'm going to be taking you through the 6 steps to becoming a ninja and how to do that yourself. So we are about to do another 6 weeks to Ninja program, which we run every couple of months or so. But we wanted to share with you the process that we go through so that if you wanted to do this yourself, you can just jump straight in and do it. Towards the end, I'm going to have loads of free resources to give you that you can use to help you on this journey of becoming a ninja. So please also remember chat box is there. If you need to ask any questions, Matt can answer questions in the chat box and I will keep an eye on that one too. But in our 6 weeks to Ninja program, these are the things that we cover. So I wanted to just share with you the structure of the 6 weeks to Ninja program so that you can see the steps that we go through. I'm going to just put all 6 steps up on the screen now so that you can see them. And then we're going to go through them each one by one, just in a little bit more detail. So week 1, we do our 9 characteristics of the productivity ninja. We get into detail around the skills that we can use, the little tools and techniques we can harness to make ourselves feel that little bit more productive and a little bit less stressed. We, in week 2, tackle dealing with overload. So looking at really getting, everything out of our heads and getting it out so that we can start working with it. In week 3, we actually work on setting up our second brain, which is a ninja concept I know we talk about a lot. Our second brain is this place to store everything that helps us to feel really organized, and we get a state of Zen-like calm, one of our ninja characteristics. In week 4, we focus in on how to stay on top of everything so that we really focus in on kind of harnessing our skills and then working out how to regularly practice those skills. Week 5 is about managing our minds and momentum, and we'll go into that one in a bit of detail in a second. And week 6 is this important reflection time, coming back to this idea that we're human, not superheroes, and how important it is to maintain a work-life balance. So let's get into each of those steps in just a little bit more detail, and I'm going to give you some resources for each of these areas. So in week 1, as I've mentioned, and for most of you, I know that you are ex-participants of our workshops, you'll remember our 9 ninja characteristics. And I wanted to remind you guys to go back to look at the book, to look at these 9 ninja characteristics in order to focus in on the key techniques and tools and tips that we share here. Things like the boss thinking and worker mode, the being ruthless, being very weapon savvy, the stealth and camouflage, going dark, hiding away to get stuff done, which has really served us well, especially during COVID, making sure that whether we're working at home or in the office, that we're able to protect our attention and get focused on the right things. So really in the first week, I would very much encourage you, if you're doing this yourself at home, is put aside just a little bit of time each week just to maybe refresh yourself on the ninja skills. Look back over the book go through and actually check out each of those ninja characteristics and work out which of those little tools and techniques you may be using, which ones you've forgotten about, things that you might want to tap into again. So please have a look at that. Really focus in on just practicing the skills and leveling up a little bit again, so that you can really focus in on how to become a ninja again in more detail. I just will mention, we're going to give you some ways to do this. We're going to give you the 9 Ninja handout again. So if you don't have it, Matt's going to send that through to you on an email in a little while. So you can refresh and practice, but you can also remember to dip into the book. There's more detail in there. In week 2, we introduced the concept of looking at overload or overwhelm, this idea of dealing with everything that's around us, all of the things that make us feel stressed and kind of just that we have this really cluttered head where we can't think well. And we focus in on showing you ways to deal with this. And you can do this again yourself in the DIY version of doing this step-by-step process at home. And in week 2, we would really encourage you guys to think about collecting and organizing all of that stuff, all of that information that you have around you. We use a model in our bigger programs once we've gone past that kind of initial stage of understanding our ninjas, and we use a process called the cord model. This is a really important model to grasp, and we go through this in our step-by-step process, step by step by step. And we start with this collecting phase, collecting everything that's around us, you know, whether it be in our mobile phone, it could be messages that we need to respond to, it could be our emails, it could be our notebooks, it could be our calendar, it could be loads of different places where all of this stuff lives, including in our head. And this is where you would remember from previous Ninja Skill Boosters, if you're a regular with us, the idea that we really need to make sure we do a regular brain dump to get all of that clutter out of our head. So we do this in this second week. Very much encourage you to do this process. If you're doing it yourself, spend some time getting everything out, looking at all that stuff that you have. And then we move into the organized phase. We start to group that information. We start to categorize it. We start to create lists of projects or lists of actions, things that we need to do. So we get into our organized phase in week 2. It's very important to spend time doing this, to really give yourself the space to start to collect and organize everything that's there. It can, I would just warn you a little, it can get a little overwhelming sometimes when we start this process, when we see how much stuff there is. But hang in there. Once we get it all out, we get this sense of calm coming. We get this Zen-like calm starting to flow, and we start to go, okay, now I know where everything is. Now I can start to organize. I can start to control my environment a little bit more. I can see where everything is. And in week 3, we teach you how to do something with all of that stuff. And again, you can do this yourself. In our week 3, we spend the whole week talking and thinking about our second brain. And this is the place where we put all of this stuff. It's creating an environment where we can find organization, we can find structure, we can find the ability to prioritize all of the things that we know we have to do, and we can find places for these things to live that make sense. And this might be your notebook, it could be, you know, things like your post-it notes that you've had stuck all over your desk, but it's your to-do lists, it's how you use your mobile phone, it's your calendar, it's your computer, it's all of these things. And as many of you will know, I know Matt's very much a computer-based person, as is Gavin, I think, one of our other ninjas who's on the line today too. Hi, Gavin. And, you know, for me, I'm paper-based. I love my weekly planner. I love my calendar. We can do a really good job of thinking about where is our second brain going to live. And this week, if you spend time on this week, I guarantee you will get such dividends paid in your productivity and your sense of organization and Zen-like calm. So really spend time, allocate yourself some time in week 3 to really focus in on what second brain am I going to choose? How am I going to set it up? How am I going to work with it regularly? Very, very important. Okay, into week 4. So week 4 is all about staying on top of all of this. Once we have this place, this second brain organized, and we have everything there ready to go, we need to make sure we work with it regularly. And as we say in our workshops, when we work with our second brain regularly, we learn to trust it, and it becomes our most valuable friend. It becomes like this buddy, this best buddy that we have that helps to take care of us. And it stops us having to hold everything in our heads. It means that we have this other being, this second brain, literally, that thinks for us, that helps us with that prioritization, that step-by-step, what comes next. And in week 4, we practice this. We spend time thinking about how we stay on top of everything, how we work with that second brain to update it. And we do regular reviews. So you've heard me rant on a lot about boss thinking and the daily boot up, and doing that daily boot up every single day, as you do with Matt and Gavin as well. You know, we all love this daily boot up. We do it every single morning, or even the night before if we're really good ninjas, so that we're ready for the next morning. So the daily boot up is critical here, practicing these skills. So really encourage you, if you're doing this process yourself, week 4, think about, how am I going to work with these tools and now stay on top of everything? And the weekly review is a key part of that. So making sure we do our regular reviews, we get everything back up to date again every week. We don't let this fall away again. We start to practice. And this is also the key week where we get our inbox to 0. So chapter 4 of the book, always remember, chapter 4 is the key one if you want to spend time getting your inbox to 0. And just a quick little call out, our next Ninja Skill Booster, which is on the 8th of April, is going to be how to do a weekly review. So if you are thinking of doing this step-by-step process yourself, it's a great way to tap into some of those skills as well. So we'll show you the process, and then you can get on with doing your own weekly review at that session. Okay, week 5. I'm thinking, how am I going on time? I'm doing good. Okay, we're good. Week 5 is about how we manage our minds. And we talk a lot about what we call the lizard brain, the amygdala, this little reptilian brain at the base of our brain that kind of takes over sometimes. So in week 5, we spend a lot of time thinking about, how do we beat things like procrastination? How do we stay on track? How do we stop all of the chatter that's going on and stay focused on the right things? So we really spend time here in order that we can sustain momentum, because the last thing we want to do is do all this great work and then we just fall off the wagon again straight away. So we really want to make sure we're harnessing, again, back to week 1, some of those skills, the techniques and tools that we learn about in our 9 ninja characteristics. We use those to help us sustain momentum. Things like our agility ninja, things like our unorthodoxy ninja. How do I experiment with this stuff? How do I play with this stuff? How do I stay on track? So we really focus here. And as I mentioned, we really focus in on key tools that help us to beat procrastination and get stuff done, managing our attention and focus. So here we harness things like the DUST model, which you may have heard us talk about, which helps us to identify why we procrastinate. The DUST. Is it difficult? Is it undefined? Is it scary? Is it tedious? Identifying why we are stuck on this particular thing, and we can then find a way through. And we also talk a lot here about eating frogs. You've heard us maybe talking about frogs before, those big ugly things that always get to the bottom of the list, and then we just have to carry them over, and we keep carrying them over until we make ourselves face into them and get them done. So really focusing, and again, it's refreshing and using those tools that we already know about, making sure we really focus on getting things done. And then we're on to week 6. And week 6 is all about human, not superhero. And if you're allocating time to do this process yourself, this is the week to think about self-care. It's the week to think about how we stay on track, how we build good habits. So Matt does an amazing session on habits in this week 6, thinking about, how do I maintain my work-life balance, and how do I make it all stick? How do I stay in the zone? How do I not, again, lose all of that great stuff I've just spent 6 weeks doing? And I'm going to make sure my habits are starting to become a little bit easier. They stay with us. And it's really important to remember in this week that, no matter how much ninja Matt, Gavin and I all spend time, and some of our other ninjas, we spend time thinking about being ninjas and being really productive. We can't be productive unless we take good care of ourselves. We have to realize that we're human. So it's really, really important to remember this as we go through the process. It's really important too to make sure that we celebrate our wins and successes. This helps us to realize that we're making progress. And the last little tip I wanted to mention in 6 weeks that we do in the week 6 time is celebration. You know, the to-do list. So turning our to-dos into to-dos. We've mentioned this one a few times on Ninja Skill Boosters, that real ta-da, look at what we achieved. We've done so well. So if you're going to do this yourself, make sure week 6 is your celebration week, that you've got a list of all the things that you've achieved during those 6 weeks. And every week, it's part of our weekly review. It's part of our daily boot up even. Ticking off those 5 things every day really helps us to get that sense of achievement and reminds us that we're making good progress. So yeah, it's a really awesome way to move forward. So that's the 6 weeks, as simple as that. I'm going to put the 6 weeks up on the slide again so that you can see the 6 weeks. We will maybe, I'm just thinking, Matt, in the email, we might just detail the 6 weeks again, but this is all available too. If you look at our 6 weeks to Ninja information on the website, you'll see the core units, the core modules of what we cover in the sessions. And what I also wanted to mention is this doesn't need to take you lots of time. Okay, so on the 6 weeks to Ninja program itself, it's over 6 weeks, and that's important for us to get that repetition and regular connection point and practicing our skills. But we spend only 2 hours a week on this in a Zoom call. So we all get together and we do 2 hours where we're practicing our skills, we're learning new things, we're going through the content, we're practicing these things, and we have a lot of time in the sessions to do the real work on your real stuff. There is a challenge each week, and that might be something that you'd like to do for yourself too. If you're doing this step-by-step DIY process, is give yourself a little challenge. What am I going to practice this week? What am I going to take on board to tackle? And it could be, we spend a lot of time in the program tackling frogs. We actually spend a lot of time on eating frogs and making sure we're getting through the difficult stuff. It is an opportunity for you to practice these skills too on your real stuff. Not just case studies, not just things that are not relevant to you, but making sure you're getting through the stuff that is important for you to get through. And each week, obviously, there's lots of resources to support you, and we're going to share some of those with you today so that you have them too for you to do it yourself. Okay, I'm going to just share you a little bit more information. So if you want to know more about the structure of the program, the detail is on the website. Matt, would you mind just popping that into? Great, awesome, it's there. You can just go on that link and have a look at the 6 weeks to 6 weeks to Ninja program. It will show you the details of how we structure everything and what we do. And just to mention, if you are interested in joining the 6 weeks to Ninja program, the next program starts on the 30th of this month. And we do have a few spots still remaining. There is also the opportunity for an early bird ticket. That finishes on Friday at 5. So if you want to jump in and join us, if you feel that maybe you need a bit of help along the way, the step-by-step's not quite ready for you, then feel free to jump in. We'd love to have you with us. Okay, if you are DIYing, these are the things we are going to send you. There are some additional resources. We're going to email you after the session today, these resources. We're going to send you the 9 Ninja handouts so that you can see and get just some reminders around the key tools and techniques that we use in each of those ninjas. We're going to send you the daily boot up checklist so that you can remember how to do the daily boot up, as well as the review, the weekly review checklists too, so that you can practice those skills. And that was, testing my memory now, I think that was week 4. So you'll be able to do those skills. We also would love to give you Academy access so that you can go and tap into the resources. You may have already had access to the Academy to make sure that you can access some of the slides from the sessions that we run, some of these extra resources around things like Inbox to Zero. There's more in there if you'd like to access that. But please feel free to tap into the resources. We love for you guys to just stay on board with your Ninja skills and get into the zone with us. Also remember that in the Academy, you can download a free copy of the book, the full book, and that's got the access of chapter 4, the Getting Your Inbox to Zero chapter in there as well. So please feel free Also, just a reminder, when you check your inbox, please also check your spam folder, just in case all of these wonderful resources is not landing in your inbox. Just make sure that you check the spam, unspam filter us, and then you'll be able to get these ongoing access to resources. Okay, just a quick little extra goodie that we wanted to share with you, a little bit of a surprise today, is Graham wrote a book about 2 years ago now with a wonderful lady called Colette Hannigan, Work Fuel. It's all about being human, not superhero. It's about taking good physical care of our nutrition, making sure that we are, as it says on the book, boosting our performance, improving our focus, and eating our way to success. And we have some copies of this to give away today. So we would love for you guys to grab a copy of the book. We've got 3 copies, as I mentioned. The first 3 people to email us, Matt is ready. Please email us on this email address. Matt's going to post it into the chat box with this subject line. And the first 3 emails that we get, we're going to be posting you a book. So thank you so much. This is another little way in that week 6 period to help you really focus in on taking good care of your physical body and making sure that you are remembering to be human. Okay, wonderful. So all of that detail is in the chat box. Please feel free to email us. We would love to hear from you. Yes, so you'll win the book. If you'd like to know more about any of our other workshops, we know right now that many of you are heading back into the office. We're doing a lot of work around hybrid working right now, and you'll see that this is going to be a big theme for us in the next few months coming through in our Ninja Skill Boosters, in our socials, in everything that we're doing. We're really focusing in on helping people with this transition back to the office with hybrid working and all of the complexities and interesting discussions that we're having on that. So please feel free to get in touch if you'd like to know more. I will leave you. How am I doing on time? I'm early, so we have time for questions if you would like to ask any questions. But please feel free. We have on the line Matt, myself, Gavin as well. So if you have questions for any of us as ninjas, we are here to help you today. Thank you so much for listening in. And I saw there were lots of questions. Matt, is there anything I've missed there in terms of questions that I need to answer?
Thanks, Julie. No, I think I've answered them all in the chat, but I might just answer them verbally as well, just for anyone that's unable to see the chat or something. There was a question about, is it always on the same day of the week? So for this coming program, it will be on Wednesday every week. But when we run, if Wednesday doesn't work for you, we will run the next 6 Weeks the Ninja program on a different day. I think our last program was on a Thursday, so we kind of mix the days up so that, but this program coming up, it will be Wednesday every week. What was the cost? And I've put the cost in there, $850 for the early bird, including GST and all the fees and everything. So there's no extra costs on top of that. The full price is $1,250. So Tara was asking, she thought it was face-to-face, but is it on Zoom? Yeah, it's definitely done on Zoom to make access easy for everyone. To get the early bird special, there's no special promo codes or links or anything. I'll put the link in again for the 6 Weeks the Ninja program. Just make sure you buy it before 5 p.m. on Friday, and the early bird ticket will be there for you to choose. And Academy, how much does Academy cost? The Academy is free with all our workshops, not the Ninja Skill Boosters, but our full workshops. We provide the Academy as a follow-up resource for everyone. So if you have done one of our workshops and you've lost the Academy access details, or for some reason you didn't get those from us or internally in your business, just let us know. Get in touch. We can give you the Academy access. And today, yeah, thank you so much, Julie. Today was really about giving you the tools to do the 6-week program DIY or on your own if you want to do it that way. And there'll be a follow-up email with lots of resources. And you're very welcome, obviously, to join us for the program. And thanks, Julie. Back to you.
No worries. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, and I was going to mention, if you are planning to do this yourself, the question about whether this is on a set day every week, I think it's really great, again, for our brain, for habits to form, is to maybe allocate yourself some time. If you're going to do this over the 6-week period, is allocating a certain spot, if you can, where you can go dark, where you know you're not going to get interrupted, where you can really focus in on practicing these skills. So this session, as Matt mentioned, is going to be Wednesday 9 till 11. You can set up some time in your diary, block it out. Pretend, we often say to people, if you're being ruthless and you're wanting to protect your attention, call it Project Magenta. Call it Project Orange, if you like that for Ninja. Whatever you do, protect your time, block it out in your diary so that you have given yourself the ability to practice, to get in the zone, to really get to grips with some of the stuff. It's quite meaty stuff. You know, if you're setting up a second brain, if you're really focusing in on honing your skills, you know, and this little bit of time, we know this from practice and from lots of time doing this with ninjas all over the world, that if we practice, if we invest this time, you will find that it pays dividends. You will get back this time, you know, tenfold maybe, when you think about how much it will boost your productivity, how it will get you feeling so much better, more organized. You'll be able to manage your attention better. You'll be able to manage your focus and get it on the right things. So yeah, it's a really great process, whether you're doing it DIY or with us. It's a really cool thing to do because you will get benefits as well for your own self. I know that for me, even as a ninja, Matt and I sort of co-host the 6 Weeks to Ninja program, and we spend time kind of helping support each other. But on the weeks that we're not presenting, we get so much from the program ourselves because we are getting to practice some of those skills too. So yeah, it's a really good idea. If you can find a buddy to help you go through this process, that's also really great too. If you're going to do it yourself, see if somebody else wants to join you. It's a great way, again, to practice, to get in the zone and really enjoy that process itself. Awesome. I think, is it St. Patrick's Day today? Thank you, Melinda. Project Green, yes, that's a great way to do it. Hide it in your diary. Great. Yes, wonderful. Okay, any questions? We are happy to stay on and answer any questions. Otherwise, I'm going to stop the recording